Hello world, welcome back to Razor RC. If you're wondering what the best 1/10 scale electric four-wheel drive monster truck is on the market today, well, you've come to the right place because we're going to answer that. We've got three monster trucks in front of us. These are the three biggest brands in the RC world. We've got the Team Associated Rival MT10, the Traxxas Hoss 4x4 VXL, and the Arrma Granite 4x4 3S BLX V3 version that just came out about a month ago. So all three of these are actually new for 2020, which makes it really exciting. If you're a monster truck fan like I am, then it's a great time to buy a monster truck. So what I did was basically rank these three trucks in 6 different categories, basically ranking them from first to third in 6 areas, which are electronics, design, performance, durability, support and maintenance, and finally value. So if you ranked first in a category, you get 3 points, second 2 points, third 1 point, and basically at the end I just add everything up to find out which was the best monster truck. What that means though is that every category was rated the same. It may be that support and maintenance is not as important as durability, for example, but for the purposes of this comparison, they were all ranked the same. So I'm going to go through these from third to first, show you sort of the pros and cons of each of the vehicles and their final score, and then we'll find out which the winner is. So in third place with a score of 10 points is the Team Associated Rival MT10. Not a bad truck by any means. Actually, I do enjoy driving this truck a lot. I think the pros of this is that it's probably the best handling of the three. It has a really good design as well with the center differential, a lot of adjustments. The body's actually been pretty durable. Nice big thick, I think they're like 13mm bore shocks. So yeah, really good design overall, fairly easy to work on, very similar to like a Stampede or the Hoss. So I like the way this thing drives. The tires are also excellent, a lot of grip in the dirt. Wheelie bar works okay. But it was let down by some things. So first off, the radio is the poorest of the bunch, the XP120 from Team Associated. Yeah, not a great radio, a little bit of lag or vagueness to it. The other two radios I think perform a little bit better. The motor is the smallest as well. It's like a 540 size can motor, I think like a 36 by 50 or 52mm can motor. It's more of a high revving type motor rather than a super torquey motor, so it actually gives pretty good speed. This is slower only to the Granite. It was actually quicker than the Hoss. The ESC is a little bit wimpy. It's kind of the 60 amp Reedy SC600 with like little 14 gauge wires and stuff. Servo was okay, actually one of the quicker ones, although the torque is a little bit low on that. It does have some weaknesses though. The front arms do break fairly easily, and that does seem to be a Team Associated thing. The previous incarnation of this was the Helion Avenge MT10, and that one had no problems with the arms. I've actually put on Helion arms onto this, so if you can find a set, I would recommend swapping those out. I did ask Team Associated if they ever changed the front arms, but they never got back to me, so it's possible that the newer ones or the latest release of the arms are better. I don't know, but yeah, that is the biggest weakness I found on this. Value is pretty good. It's only $299, so it is the cheapest of the bunch, although I think it is probably less well equipped than the Granite, which sells for $320. But yeah, overall just a decent monster truck. Just didn't really win any of the categories, and that's kind of where it fell flat. Handling and performance is really, really good. It also jumps and lands pretty well. So from a performance aspect, it's pretty good, but it's not the fastest. It also doesn't, land the best of the three. So didn't even really win the performance category. Now, if I had to race this, I would probably pick this over the other two. I do think it drives a little bit better than the other two. That's just basically due to the tunability of this. It's the only one that comes with sway bars. It's got that center differential, which definitely does help the handling, and the tires are excellent as well. So overall, a good monster truck. Just a couple of little weaknesses, but unfortunately in this group it came in third. In second place, the Traxxas Hoss finished with 12 points, so a couple points higher than the Rival MT10. It does have some weaknesses. Number one, I do think the value of this is really low at $470. It's by far the most expensive of these three monster trucks by like $150 or so. So it is way overpriced, but you know, like I said at the beginning, all the categories are ranked equally, so that didn't hurt it quite as much as you might think otherwise. Now it does have some pros. I think the design is excellent. This body shell, this sort of roll cage that they've got inside does hold up to the durability. It's just got the standard Traxxas Slasher Stampede style design, so really easy to work on. It actually comes with a center differential and a steel spur gear. That's the only vehicle of the three that comes with the steel spur gear. It's nice to see. Got an integrated receiver box. The four-wheel drive system, you know, works really well. Aluminum center shaft, that's nice. They pretty much fixed everything that was wrong with the Stampede and just called it the Hoss. So it's got nice grippy tires that don't balloon too much. It's got the wheelie bar that's fixed. It's got that center differential like I mentioned. And then it's got this giant motor. It's got this 2400 kV, I think it's a 36 by 70 millimeter motor. Really the motor from the Traxxas Max, which is like a much bigger, heavier, forest capable monster truck. So, you know, it's cool to see that they actually upgraded the motor, although I do think it's a little bit under kV'd. This is actually the slowest of the three trucks at about, you know, 40, 42 miles per hour. Tons of torque, so from that aspect, you know, it's more of a stunt puller than like a high RPM type race car. It does have this battery strap, which limits you to what batteries you can actually run, so make sure your batteries will fit in there. But yeah, overall, pretty good monster truck overall. Now the downsides of this is it does come with plastic Ultra shocks. I swapped them out for these aluminum shocks, but the stock shocks are pretty much terrible. The servo I also swapped out. It comes with like this plastic geared servo, which is really slow, and plastic geared, of course, you know, I do feel like at the price point it comes at, it should have a metal geared servo, but it does have a plastic one. Yeah, so it does have some limitations. If you can get around those, maybe swap those things out. I think this actually ends up being a really good monster truck. Now on the electronic side, it also comes with the TQI radio, which is an okay radio, reasonably responsive. Does have adjustments, although I do recommend picking up this Traxxas Link Bluetooth module that just makes it way easier to use. So I do feel like the Hoss is a little bit misunderstood. It is obviously overpriced. So a lot of people just kind of, you know, bashed it or hated on it out of hand without having actually driven one. But I think overall they actually made a pretty good vehicle. It is really durable. I've had no issues with breaking anything on this. I think the stock shocks will break, bend shock shafts and stuff, so that is kind of the weak point. And I would recommend either upgrading the shock shafts or going to some aftermarket shocks, but the rest of the vehicle has been super durable. I mean, the body holds up really well because it's got that cage system. The new arms and shock towers and stuff are very durable. The wheelie bar works totally fine. So yeah, this truck I think is a lot better than people will give it credit for. So it is nice to see that Traxxas finally upped their game in the monster truck division, although I wish they would have sold this as basically an updated Stampede rather than a Hoss and jacking up the price. So yeah, in second place, I'm going to go with the Traxxas Hoss. You know, not too many real weaknesses, reasonably durable, really good design. Performance was okay. Support and maintenance is best in class because Traxxas has parts everywhere. You can call them up, you can email them, whatever. They're really responsive. Have no issues getting this thing warranted. So yeah, the Traxxas Hoss actually a really good truck, just a little bit pricey. That leaves us with the winner in this monster truck comparison, and that is the Arrma Granite 4x4 3S BLX V3 version. Just came out about a month ago. Really great monster truck. I actually did a comparison of 4 different monster trucks earlier this year, which included the Losi Tenacity MT, but that's been discontinued. But yeah, since that time, they actually have updated the Arrma Granite. They came out with the Hoss, so it was really interesting to actually redo this comparison. And the V3 basically takes the V1 and V2 and just fixes a whole lot of things. So first off, the Arrma did actually finish first in the most categories. I think it's got the best electronics. It actually comes with this radio, Spectrum SLT3, excellent radio, the best of the bunch. It also has the best motor and ESC, so it comes with this 36 by 60 can motor, 3200 kV motor. This was the fastest truck. It's got the best ESC, the BLX 100, which is nice and programmable. Servo was actually pretty good, reasonably torquey, reasonable speed as well, not super slow. Only downside of that servo is it is a 23.2 servo, but yeah, other than that, you know, this has really good electronics. It's quite fast. Also, the performance was excellent. This definitely jumps and lands the best. Handle's not particularly the greatest, but with that, you know, basically having the highest top speed and the most power in the performance category, it pretty much won single-handedly. I mean, the driving on this thing is okay. It is, you know, sort of held back by that slipper clutch, but performance is excellent. Durability, I think, is also best in class. The Arrma Granite and the whole 3S line in particular is well known for being a very durable range of vehicles. I've had the V1 and now the V3, and they've all been pretty durable. I did have a couple more problems with this than the V1, so I'm not sure if that's a long-term thing, but having owned the V1 for so long and this as well, you know, I do feel like this is a really durable line of vehicles. Finally, in the value category, this was best. It's only $20 more than the Associated Rival MT10, but I think it's well worth it for the upgrade in electronics. I mean, the radio is way better, the motor is much better, the ESC is much better. So overall, yeah, it totally wins in the value category despite not being the cheapest. Now, it does have some weaknesses. I don't like the design a whole lot. It's a little bit more difficult to work on. They have these like power modules and electronics modules that you kind of have to like take apart, and you know, it's sort of like a multi-step process just to get to your pinion gear, or a multi-step process just to get to your receiver. You gotta like remove the ESC. Servo can be a bit of a pain to change out. On the other two vehicles, it's really easy, just like 4 screws. But this one, you kind of have to remove this whole module, take this thing out, make sure you route the wires correctly and all that. So a bit of a pain. And then lastly, on the design side, there's just no adjustments whatsoever. So everything, you know, there's not a lot of tunability. There's no different shock position, no different camber link positions or anything. Everything's just kind of set as is from the factory, and you can't make any changes. But overall, the Arrma Granite, excellent vehicle. I think it's still the best monster truck out there. 10th scale. If you want like a 3S monster truck for this size, this class, this is the best one to buy in my opinion. So yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely hit the like, share, subscribe button. Look for more videos soon. Thanks for watching.